Good.
All right, beloved. All right. We just heard what happened over there in California. 4.6. You know what to do. All right, beloved. Let's stop right here. Let's stop right here. Gotta turn on this thing. Uh oh. There we go. All right, beloved. Give me a one if you can hear me and see me well. Today, again, it's our 11th days of fasting. Good, good. Thank you. Some of you were here a few hours ago. We were discussing the certain rules and say policies and for the grueling fast, which I'm still thinking about should I initiate it or not. That's one thing, but I just wanted to come back again, take a few phone calls. We're not gonna stay for too long today. I'm gonna spend at least 30 minutes to 1 hour. That is if the mighty one wants so. If you want to have any call, let us put the number on the screen so the people who wish will call us. So, yeah, if you want to call, and you could call us and share your vision, dreams, and your opinion concerning the current state and the future, the current and the future state of the world, us and them. Care to elaborate, care to share with the nation we are here, let us know. We're just going to give it a little bit more time for our other brothers and sisters to join on to us, and then we're going to move with the videos. I think I received an email right here. All right, good. I think we should. Oops. All right. Okay. I think we're good. We're good. Let us go ahead and keep on moving with the news. Let's keep moving with the news. We already get this one. Let's get
Five Marines killed in a helicopter crash in the East County on Tuesday. It's our top story. This afternoon, we now know the names of the 5 Marines killed in a helicopter crash in the East County on Tuesday. It's our top story here on The 4. I'm Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. The military released their identities and photographs just hours ago. They are Lance Corporal Donovan Davis, just 21 years old, from Kansas. He was promoted to Lance Corporal on January 1st.
Also, 23-year-old Sergeant Alec Langan from Chandler, Arizona. He enlisted in 2017. He was a decorated Marine with 5 medals and 2 ribbons from the military. Captain Benjamin Moulton was a commissioned officer from Idaho. He was 27 years old. And 26-year-old Captain Jack Casey was from New Hampshire. He was promoted to captain in September of last year.
Also on board, 28-year-old Captain Miguel Nava.
So now, as you guys can see, those are the names, their ages, and stuff. We got like 5 gentlemen right here and fallen Marines. This is a horrible and terrible things that happen. But hey, if you look at the fellow, there is one fellow there, and he's something about him really says something. In fact, when you look at it, he is the only guy that truly look like a Marine. So at least he bear the Marine symbol. So anybody see who's fellow that he says something here. there's one of the person in here. His name says something here. At least to me, it is. Anybody care to? Okay, it's 5 of them. Captain, corporal, sergeant, 3 captain, 1 corporal, and 1 sergeant. Well, let's look at the name. We got 1, Benjamin Moulton, the 2nd, Captain Jack Casey, the 3rd, Miguel Nava, the 4th, Lance Corporal Donovan Davis, and Sergeant Alec Lincoln. And you got the 3rd dude, his name is Miguel. Miguel is a Spanish for Michael. We have done this, we've gone over this. And then again, like I told people, I'm not making this up. The one that they had a few months ago, their name come to Michael. I believe the guy name was actually Michael. Okay. So they are young men. They are all of them very young men, and they went to this exercise, and somehow the helicopter lost power. Something happened. Again, beloved, they have to come and tell us some stuff. Okay. Then again, you got the first fellow, Benjamin. Okay. The 12th son. All right. The last son of Joseph, Benjamin. All right. 27, 28 or unders. Young men. Okay, we got Benjamin in there, you got Miguel in there, and you got Alec in there. Alec, which is another word, Alex. You got Davis, which is another word for David. Okay, Casey, Jack, all of those names, they actually are part of our tribe and things that are meaningful to us. You got those 5 gentlemen getting a war machine that fly, and none of them return. Yes, indeed, the ley line is activated. Of course, beloved, they will say, oh, well, all those things are happening here is because they are focusing on one report. All those things are happening here. It's because, it's just the government tried to scare you. Now, which one of you believe that the so-called U.S. government or the elite are taking those guys out? Which one of you believes that the so-called FEMA or those guys that were responsible for Jacob's trouble are taking their own out in these horrible, terrible ways? Do you really believe 83 is doing this to their own men? See, those guys are not celebrities, so you won't hear any big talk about it. No one would say, well, they did this because they want to evade tax. They fake their death so they can go live in that, secure, private, very private and very obscure island. No. What you see happen to those fellows, it's real. It is very real. And they are not doing this to themselves. Let's keep on moving.
From Michigan, Nava served since 2017 and was promoted to captain in 2021.
CBS 8's Kelly Hessel joins us live from MCA's Miramar. She spoke to the family of Sergeant Alec Langan and has their heartbreaking story. Kelly.
That's right. It was a very emotional interview. I spoke to the sister of Sergeant Alec Langan from their family's home in Phoenix. Now, they were both actually born here in San Diego, and she says that she wants the world to know her brother was special, that he wasn't just an exceptional Marine, that he was also an exceptional brother, son, husband, and friend. Cell phone video of Sergeant Alec Langan, a crew chief inside a CH-53 helicopter. The same kind of aircraft he was in Tuesday when it crashed in Pine Valley, killing him and 4 fellow Marines. Alec's sister Elizabeth says her boyfriend broke the news to her.
I just knew something was wrong, and he told me Alec had been in a crash, and all I remember was holding him, and he had to hold me up, and I just knew at that point that I was never going to see him again.
Elizabeth says her family is devastated. It was just 1 month ago they gathered in Sedona to celebrate as Alec married the love of his life, Casey.
He's just...
Again, beloved, what you're seeing here, those guys are under prime. Okay, they're under prime. They get married. They doing well. Okay, they are healthy, and then they know more. One thing 83 refused to tell this new generation or whatever generation that is coming there. They refuse to tell them, you guys are we're living on a blessing. The moment this blessing is done, there are a lot of stuff that you are not able to do. There are a lot of things that you guys used to do, and then now you go ahead, you try to do them, and you ain't gonna be covered. Things are not gonna be done the way that you thought is going to be done. Young man, Marines, making some money, have a beautiful wife, a beautiful life, respectable character. Bam, you know more. Those are the best men. Those are the best people. That's not like 5 dudes that stay home and play video game all the time. And when the war started, they will need those guys. Those are not those dudes. Those are the prime men. Creme of the crop. Creme de la creme. Those are the top men. And if they are not being taken out in a horrible, terrible accident, there's something else that's taking them out. A little substance that they love and sniff or inject, taking them out. Let's keep on moving.
Just a rock. He was a rock for our family. He was a rock for Casey. He was a rock for so many men in the Marine.
Anybody seeing anything here? Just enlarge this. Anybody see anything? If you see anything, put in the comment board. You can't make this up, man. I'm not making this up. The people can tell in the comment board. It's just, the Mosai. Look at this, Reggie. What's another word for 360? Mathematically speaking, geometrically speaking, so to speak. What is another word for 360 in the term of not arithmetic, mainly geometry? Thank you, love abide Aquarius. Circle. You got circle 360, a circle, Bridget. 3 plus 6 equals 9. We told you, you are locked in this loop, in this circle. No matter what you do, it's gonna keep repeating. Number 9, it's gonna keep repeating. You done. You locked into this circle, this loop, this curse loop. Remember, number 9 go both ways. And you're going to keep going around and around. There's nothing. You can't get out of it until whatever that time you were, the mighty one or the AI put you in there. When the AI put us in that circle, for 400 years. We could not get out. We run in circle. We run in the loop. Now it is you. Okay? Now it is you. All right? Terrible. Let's keep on moving.
And I know that he's gonna have it's gonna be a big hole, and it's never gonna be the same without him.
She says her brother was funny, smart, and kind. He played the drums in school. He refereed soccer, even though she says,
again, people are making those things up. That is for the one that have eyes to see, and they can see. Number 9 told you you are cursed and you're on the loop. You won't get away. And then you ask, okay, why? It says because of the things that you did to the 12 tribe. And it's on the behalf of the 12 tribe. There you go. It's right in front of you. 12, of course, referred to us. And then if it was 21, would have been double curse. So I'll be curse reversal to you. Let's keep on moving.
he was terrible at soccer.
Even if it's something he's not good at, he's gonna do it. And he's gonna do it Alex's way with a smile on his face.
She says his tight-knit group of friends went off to join different branches of the military. Alec followed in his father's footsteps and fulfilled his dream of becoming a Marine.
I'm just gonna miss so much about him. I can't even put it into words. And I just want people to know that he died doing what he loved. I know that he didn't want to leave any of us, but that he's going to be there protecting us for the rest of our lives.
And she told me in just a couple of months, Alec was supposed to be transferring that is, to another military base where he wouldn't be doing the same kind of training exercises that he was here. She says, hug your loved ones tighter, tell them how much they need you. Heather and Carlo.
Gosh, it's just so heartbreaking to hear her story. And Kelly, these Marines are from all over the country. Are we hearing from any other friends or family members at this time?
That's right. We are hearing from the family or the friends of Miguel Nava, Captain Miguel Nava, that is. We do have some photos that we'd like to share with you. He leaves behind a wife and a son. Before he became a
Okay, this guy left behind a wife and a son. So that's what happened to us during the Inquisition. Our men were being taken away and our women were left with the children raised just like that. And raised without fathers, and that's how you destroy the family. Okay, so there you go.
Helicopter pilot. He grew up in Michigan. He played football and soccer. He was on the student council. He would often return to his old school to mentor other students. So he was looked at as a true leader and really a role model.
Okay, there he goes again. There he goes again. There's nothing to say here. You want things to be, you want the judgment to be perfect? You guys destroy our men, you destroy our family. Now look at this. All those things are coming back on you now. All those things are coming back on you. Perfection. All right, with this one, I think they got a few more.
So obviously his family and friends are hurting today as well. It was clear that he certainly touched the lives of those who knew him.
Okay, that's the last. Let's take this. Let's take that one over here. Yes, those people usually are smiling and laughing when they are reporting our people. But when it comes to them, they show you the grief and the pianos and all that. So let's go for this one. No, we done that one before. All right, so okay, let's do this one.
A Tampa man's mother says he was insane when he did it.
Now look,
A Tampa man.
now look at this guy. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Is anything changed about the fellow? Any vibe that you're picking of him? He is dead in the eyes. That's how we told those people. You can just look at them in the eyes. You're like, this is that. That's it. It's just no soul. He's just dead in there. Just dead. Shalom, beloved. Thank you for turning in. Down Leeway. Exactly. You see, when you commit and act like this, it flows in your face. That's why people that murder people, you can see it on their face. They are murderers. Some people walk around with the shock look still in their face. They're not on drugs or anything because of what they did. It stick with them forever. When you look at this dude and his soul, you're like, there's none. There's none in there. Okay? He took his father out, was going to take the mother out, and then guess what? He claimed insanity. He claimed insanity. Let's keep on moving.
And who killed his father and nearly killed his mother says he was insane when he did it. And now doctors are trying to determine if that's true. Fox 13's Gloria Gomez shows us how this risky defense strategy has been used before.
A bombshell announcement was made during a routine virtual court hearing.
We're looking into not guilty by reason of insanity.
Anthony Capstan, who's accused of killing his father and nearly killing his mother during an argument in May of 2020, now says he was insane when he did it. Prosecutors say not so fast.
We need to have our expert evaluate the defendants.
Capstan's mother survived the...
Again, you know, it's all over. For those of you that have eyes to see, you see it. Let the people know in the comment board or the chat room if you can see it. Let's keep on moving.
Brutal attack, and months later was asking, nearly begging the judge for permission to talk to her own son.
Not speaking to him has been very devastating. We've gone through a lot.
The judge allowed it, but now Capstan plans to use the insanity defense to dodge murder charges. The last time that risky defense strategy worked was with murder defendant Marquise Morse.
Yeah, devil, this is all your fault. All your fault because you descended to earth.
Morse
Again, people are thinking those guys are crazy when they do things like that. No, they're not.
Intentionally ran over and killed a father bike riding with his two boys. Prosecutors and defense doctors agreed Morse did not know right from wrong at the time of the incident. The state conceded it.
We are in agreement to allow the defendant to be found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Now Capstan will roll the dice with the same strategy, but will it work? The doctors know could be the difference. Gloria Gomez.
There you go. Look at the dude, man.
Gomez, Fox 13.
Look at the dude eyes. He's dead there. Crazy. An argument, you know, and then they just snap. Those are the dudes. Okay, let's take another one. All right. Let's take another one.
On Tuesday, the sheriff and his deputies responding to a call there. Well, the police department claims they knew nothing about it. An officer pulls over the sheriff, and things only escalate from there. Hello. This is body camera video from a Lexington police officer. That officer just pulled over this black SUV, driven by Cleveland County Sheriff Chris Amison.
Amison, I'm going to SWAT call. Okay, sir, just pull you over. Could you do an 85 and a 55? I was going where? Call out. Where we going? SWAT call out right over here.
The officer says he isn't aware of any barricaded suspect in the city.
Here in Lexington? Yeah. We have an armed person we don't know about. All right, I'll call our chief and let him know.
According to the sheriff's office, a bondsman made multiple requests to Lexington police for assistance arresting a former Tulsa police officer, D'Angelo Reyes, who...
Anybody, you may be too good with your Spanish, but anybody know what that name means? Angelo? Anybody know what the name D'Angelo means? All right, there you go. The people already know what's going on. although the fellow is far from look like what he far from that word. Okay, he far from this. But D'Angelo, you know, that's who's reporting here. Let's keep on moving. Thank you for the people that are there. Let's keep on moving. Okay, let's go. There we go.
Arresting a former Tulsa police officer, D'Angelo Reyes, who is wanted on rape charges. They wanted backup because they believed he had multiple guns. This is their call for help to Cleveland County.
We foresee having problems with them.
Okay.
Lexington's 50, they won't help. They just told us to go make contact at the house, but this guy has 3 guns.
Okay, so what they don't want to help. I arrested this. You know, they got to circle the wagon and protect this dude. They don't want to help them. And that guy, like, he has a bunch of guns. He has a bunch. So, you know, they want to. Let me see. They don't want to help. So there you go.
Back to the body cam, the Lexington officer lets the sheriff go and follows him to the staging area where multiple deputies are located. As they get there, so does Lexington Police Chief Ronnie Johnson, seen in the vest and cowboy hat. Chief Johnson confronts a Cleveland County deputy.
We realize that I'd like to know what's going on in my own damn city. We would have notified you, sir. We would have? Yeah. Well, hold on. I've been at the city.
This is how arrogant those guys are. This is how arrogant that 83 are. You know, what the f is going on in my own damn city? Do you realize that I would like to know what is going on in my own? Hey, I own this ish, baby. Now, those are internal stuff that are going on. You know, they're officers, well, they are rapists, and the guy, he raped someone, so they don't want to hand him over. And this dude in the hat is like, yo, you ain't gonna you ain't gonna go over there and arrest this guy. Okay, well, why? Why? Because if you arrest him, he's gonna squeal like a pig because he is a pig. We are pigs. You know, it's not that we've been doing this stuff. You know, you ain't gonna get him, so. You know, he want out me and the other rest of the fellows that have been doing stuff out there. So what's going on here? All right, let's keep on moving.
Down there to the PD.
A sheriff's office lieutenant tries to explain the situation to the chief.
I think he was notified. They refused to respond because of the call. Okay, I don't know who the said that. First of all, sir, I know the chief. I'm just telling you.
Okay, first of all, sir, I know you are the chief, but you aren't going to talk to me like that. I'm just saying what the call, okay? I don't appreciate all this going on and no one notifying me a damn thing about it, okay? I don't know who the hell say. This is how those guys act. They're arrogant they are. And I'm the freaking chief, man. I I got to make sure before the report come out, I got to make sure my name is not in there, or that video that me and D'Angelo did together and all this stuff. So I got to make sure and nothing is in there. So yeah.
I don't appreciate all of this going on and nobody knows about a damn thing about it.
That's when the Cleveland County deputy walks away. But the Lexington officer wearing the body camera isn't done.
You're not going to talk about chief like that, sir. That's not going to happen. You can get the out of my face.
Sir, you ain't going to talk to my chief like that, sir. That's not going to happen. You're going to get the out of my face. I just don't give a you think I care who you are, son? This is my country. This is my county too. Okay?
I don't give a who you are. Okay? This is my county too.
Sheriff Amison tries to step in.
Sheriff, you need to back up out of my face, sir. You have no authority. You're not going to tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do, Doug. This is how arrogant those guys are. This is how arrogant they are, man. They're pride. Like, I'm the chief. I ate guys like you for a dinner. I'm your boss. Okay, this is how my face need go to tell me. I ain't gonna talk to you like that. I talk to everybody like that. I talk to black people like that because they're gonna have to bring black folk in them. I talk to my mother like that. I talk to my father like that. I talk to everybody. I even talk to babies like this when I'm holding them on. Don't come over there and tell me what the hell to do. Who the hell are you? Who are you? And that the guy already feel, the pressures like, okay, let's back up. Let's back up, man. See, this is the tension that are in the midst of those guys. Okay? All right, let's
tell me what to do. You're not gonna get in my sheriff's face. Just like you told me.
The sheriff threatens to arrest the officer, and Chief Johnson pulls his officer away.
Both of you need to back off. This is our operation. This is our county. Understand?
Oh, yeah. Perfectly clear. Perfectly clear.
Well, the sheriff's office in a statement tells KOCO an investigation is underway. And by the way, the suspect in the standoff was not arrested.
Of course. All right, let's keep on moving, beloved. Okay. Let's take this one. Crap. Let's travel a little bit back in time. Well, not that much back in time, but let's do this. Let's listen to that, and then in the meantime, while you guys are listening to this, I'll look for something.
3 years ago. Since then, critics have blamed it for a lot of what we see on Portland streets: open drug use and little accountability. Others who support it say it's doing its job, if only to keep addicts out of jail and on a path toward treatment. And could it still happen without any change?
At Oregon's state capitol, it was standing room only in hearing room A. This may be the worst impact of Measure 110.
Most here ready to criticize or praise the impacts of Measure 110. Under the measure, possession of small amounts of drugs became a Class E violation, basically a $100 ticket that could be waived if the violator contacts a substance use helpline. Some say the law should stay as is.
These bills would reverse course on Oregonians' bold, compassionate decision to provide health care to people struggling with addiction, rather than responding with arrest and incarceration.
On Wednesday.
Suddenly now, beloved, we cannot respond with incarceration, arresting, jailing those people. We need to, let them do their drugs, fine them $100, and then if they call one of those services that provided help with the drugs, we're going to waive that. Suddenly now, and people don't want to, the skin color change, the blessing switch, the curses change. People want to testify. A lot of them, we need to recriminalize this thing because too much is going on. Again, we told you the reason why they did this, beloved. The reason why they decriminalize and don't arrest people anymore, because 99.99% of the people that are doing this thing are them. Okay. Okay, this is, let's see the date on this thing. Okay, that was 2 days ago, which is February the 8th. All right, let's keep on moving.
Wednesday, the Joint Committee on Addiction and Community Safety Response heard public testimony on 3 bills designed to change Measure 110. There's House Bill 4036 and Senate Bill 1555, both Republican-led efforts. They would bump possession of a controlled substance up to a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in prison, a $6,250 fine, or both. There's also House Bill 4002, a Democratic-led effort. It would make possession of a controlled substance a Class C misdemeanor, a crime punishable by up to 30 days in jail, a $1,250 fine, or both.
The culture Measure 110 has created regarding drug use is live and let live. But for Keaton and many others, Measure 110 meant live and die.
Michelle Stroh's son Keaton died of a fentanyl overdose in 2020.
There you go. There you go. Now my children are dying from this. It's not like they weren't using back in the 80s and 90s. They were using, but they weren't dying because they were under the blessing. Now my son, my daughter is dying for this thing. So, hey, yo, son, don't be arresting. No prison, man. I have a second son, he's on the same path. No prison, man. No jail time, man. Do not call my son a junkie. He has a disorder. He has a mental illness. Now, suddenly now being a drug user, he has a mental illness. Okay. All right. Let's keep on moving.
Since then, she's been working to combat the opioid crisis and believes Measure 110 only made things worse.
We are showing the next generation of children that illicit drugs are normal and accepted, and they should never be seen that way, ever.
How did we get here?
Nathan Vasquez is a deputy.
How did we get here? Oh, you people are serious. How did we get here? Let me show you how you got here. Okay, Mr. Nathan. How did we get here? Let's show you how did you get here. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit there you go. This, beloved, was in 1977, April 4th, 1977. Well, April the 26th, 1977, and it was broadcast. Well, it's in April in 1977. All right. Legalizing heroin. Okay, legalization of heroin. Okay, that was in the 70s when you people were destroying our brethren with. Is it sharing? Is it sharing? Okay, yeah. Okay, this is when you people were destroying our brethren with the heroin.
Corporation and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
As an illness, not as a criminal problem. Good evening. There are 3,340 known drug addicts in Britain. But unlike the 500,000 addicts in this country, their habit is legally maintained, some pure heroin, through a government-controlled program that treats heroin addiction as an illness, not as a criminal problem. In recent months, pressure has been building in this country to try heroin maintenance, at least experimentally. Tonight, we examine the arguments for and against such an approach. Would it actually reduce the enormous amount of crime associated with addiction? Would this step towards legalizing heroin create more addicts? But first, let's look at the British experience. Since 1924, Britain has treated drug addiction as a medical problem, largely administered by family doctors. Then, in 1967, the government put the supply of narcotics for addicts into the hands of 30 hospital clinics. Although the treatment and...
Let me go ahead and explain on that just a little bit. The reason why they were doing this, because, of course, it was the majority of them okay, this thing was happening over there. And again, it is, okay? It is that when it's come to them, it's a mental issue. We need to let the doctors. All right, okay.
Drugs are free is not easy. An addict has to first prove his or her addiction to the psychiatrists who run the clinics. Each clinic has its own policy, but the current thinking is to put all new patients on synthetic drugs like oral methadone. Dr. John Reed, a consultant psychiatrist in charge of the Hackney Hospital Drug Clinic in suburban London, explains the restrictions.
The addict themselves never handles the prescription. This is sent by post to the pharmacist of their choice, usually near where they're living or where they're working. And we send out a prescription to cover a week's supply of narcotics. And then it's up to the addict themselves to go to the pharmacy each day and collect their supply day by day.
But are the addicts seeking help or just a free fix?
The clinic has got you off morphine. What are you on now?
40 milligrams of Viceptone.
Does that satisfy your need?
To a certain extent, it does stop most compulsion to sort of score on the black market. I wouldn't really put myself out unless the opportunity sort of presented itself.
Should a British addict really want to look for the opportunity, he can do it in Piccadilly, the center of London's tourist traffic, and of much of the illegal drug trade, used by an estimated 10,000 people. Above ground, there's an all-night pharmacy, and below, a maze of subway tunnels, with toilets that provide privacy and running water for the junkies. And for many, the problem remains underground, until they read of the 5 addicts found dead here in January, or of a rock star arrested for possession. The official British system costs about $2.5 million, 1/5 of it spent on narcotics. Some would like the program cut down, but there are dangers. Right now, there is little evidence in Britain of crimes committed to pay for drugs. But even with a free drug program, some people still use the black market. Why?
You don't get the same methadone that you do off of heroin, but it seems to almost get there, but not quite.
Other illegal drug purchasers include first-time users, not yet introduced to the bureaucratic drug scene, and those who just prefer private enterprise. Only yards from Piccadilly is London's Chinatown, the source of illicit Chinese heroin. The trade is thought to be controlled by a secret Chinese society, the Triads. In the last 6 months, 2 big cases against gang members have shown that there are rich pickings, even in Britain where addicts can get a free supply through the state. Another small but sad source of illegal drugs comes from leaks within the government-controlled system, or dissatisfied patients who prefer to sell some of their prescription in exchange for adulterated Chinese heroin.
Okay. What you just heard there, in the 1970s, those people, of course, they were junkies, they were drug addicts, and the so-called Chinese were selling drugs. Those guys were the one that were sending and bringing the drugs into our community. Those people were the one that were trafficking because they owned the boats and the planes, the ships and everything, and they were bringing those stuff into the community, feeding it. They were making millions, and they were blaming our people that, hey, well, the drugs, the black people are doing drugs because they look at this is doing that. That was in the 1970s when the heroin was pretty bad. That was in England. So now they're going to make a comparison between England and the so-called United States. Okay, those were the guys who are bringing this stuff. All right, let's keep on moving. Let me see. Is it right here? There you go. Right there. A little bit. I think we will watch the tail right here.
The British form of heroin maintenance, that is, sustaining drugs on legally administered pure heroin instead of or with substitute drugs like methadone. It was legal in this country earlier in this century. Now it's being proposed again. If such a program were adopted here, it would fall under the jurisdiction of the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Dr. Robert DuPont, a psychiatrist with many years in the drug field, is director of that agency. Dr. DuPont, first of all, what's your evaluation of the British system?
Well, I think it's basically worked quite well for the British. It's a little unfortunate to pass judgment now because all of Europe is undergoing a major heroin epidemic in countries as...
That was in 1970s. That was in the 70s, 77. All of the major Europe, most of those white folks over the 70s, they were going through a drug crisis. That means all those people from the 70s, they got children now that are alive. Those are junkie children that go up to give birth to all those junkies, and that's why the drug never stopped. That's why their children are born. They're like weird, not different, like, yo. Yet they didn't focus on that. They focus on Bumpy Johnson. They focus on New York, Brooklyn. They focus on our heroin. Okay, let's keep on moving.
Different as Italy and Germany and England are all seeing a rise. So to attribute this rise to the British use of heroin in their clinics, I think is unfortunate. But it is a fact that the problem is worsening in Britain right now.
Based on the British experience, when it worked as far as it did, are you in favor of trying a heroin maintenance program in this country?
I think the biggest problem is that people tend to get polarized on this issue and view it as either an unmitigated disaster that would undo the substantial progress that's been made in the drug area in the last decade in this country, or to see it as a solution to the problem. And I think neither of those would happen. And I think your film summary gave a pretty good picture of that. That it's certainly not a panacea as it's often portrayed, and neither has it really been a disaster, at least as it's shown in Britain. I think a well thought out experimental program in the United States might be reasonable. The biggest problem we have here is the problem of take-home heroin, and as you accurately portrayed, there's a tremendous temptation for the heroin to be sold on the street. Here, for example, an average 100 milligrams of heroin would be worth $150 every day to the person walking out of the clinic, and I think that's a kind of temptation that just couldn't be afforded here.
I see, but
okay, so what they did? Yeah, it won't work. Plus, we are making money out of this thing, and $150 back in the 1970s, man. That's 1977. $150 was a lot of money, man. That was a lot of money. So the guy leader will say, okay, well, there are certain factors. If you bring it here, you kind of gonna F up this market right there. And I invested in this thing, and if you bring it in here, it's gonna crush this market. Plus, the government, he literally tell you they won't let this thing coming over there get free stuff. You're gonna mess my business, man. You're gonna mess my business if you bring this thing here. I'm making 150 for 11 millimeters or 100 whatever milliliters or that thing. Hey, man, hey, bring that. Hey, yo.
are you in favor yourself of an experimental program in heroin?
Are you in favor?
Well, I'd like to see a specific proposal before I commit myself on that, but I wouldn't write it off out of hand.
Do you think that it could reduce the crime associated with heroin addiction in this country?
It might. I think, though, that we have to realize that there are methadone clinics in the United States that provide maintenance to deal with the habit, as well as large numbers of drug-free programs. The majority of people in treatment and drug abuse treatment in the United States don't use methadone either. And probably the most striking criticism of the British system is that they don't have any drug-free treatment. All they have is maintenance, and here we offer some alternatives. I don't think, though, that using heroin in clinics here is going to have a startling effect on our crime rate.
So you're not terribly impressed with the idea of heroin maintenance programs, but you might like to see a firm proposal for one to be tried experimentally. Is that your position?
That's an excellent summary of my position.
All right. Thank you very much. One of the groups that has recently called for the establishment of a pilot program of heroin maintenance is the National League of Cities. Richard Hatcher, mayor of Gary, Indiana, was the chairman of the Human Resources Committee which drafted the proposal last December. Mayor Hatcher is with us tonight in the studios of WGN TV in Chicago. Mayor Hatcher, what was the rationale behind the recommendation of the National League?
Well, I think essentially it's important to understand that the recommendation did not call for a heroin maintenance system in the United States. It did call, however, for carefully controlled experiments, small experiments around the country to acquire information and determine whether or not such a system might be feasible. So the rationale basically was to acquire more information than we presently have.
But you did call for a sort of pilot program or a series of small pilot programs.
Yes, we did. I might point out that the National League of Cities is basically a conservative organization, and when we first took up this matter approximately a year or so ago, there was almost unanimous opposition to the idea even of heroin maintenance experiments. Over the period of a year, we researched the question. The Human Resources Committee researched the question. We had a number of experts appear before that committee to discuss it. And at the end of that time, the committee itself was almost unanimously in favor of heroin maintenance experiments. And that proved to be the case with the entire body at our meeting in Denver in December. But I do want to point out that it was a matter, first of all, of last resort. The feeling was that heroin maintenance should be attempted only as a matter of last resort, and that we ought to try all the other modalities before going to that. And secondly, that we are calling for, at this time, small, very carefully controlled experiments.
I see.
Now, back in the 70s, and this dude, he came up, he said, well, this is killing our people, and we need to make this either legal or we're taking off the streets, and we need to experiment and see if we can do the same thing that those people did over there in England, but not to maintain it, not heroin maintenance, but more like study the behavior and then cut them off or cure them, because this is a mental crisis, this is a mental this. And they ignore the dude. They shut down the program, they ignore him, and they cut the program off, and they said it's a criminal thing. They said it's a criminal thing. They said it's anybody that possesses a needle, you are an addict and you're commit a crime, and they were arresting our people. And let me see if I can get. I think the other one is okay. Let me see this brother right here, right here. There you go, like that. Okay.
This nation really want this approach. One man with some experience in this is Amos Hennicks, program director of the Manhood Foundation in New York. Mr. Hennicks is a former addict himself and the founder of Reality House, the first drug-free treatment center for addicts in New York City. Mr. Hennicks, what's your reaction to the idea of heroin maintenance programs?
Well, I'm against any type of maintenance.
You're against maintenance with methadone or any other substitute or heroin itself?
Right, because I think what's not being said is who's going to make the money, the government or the mafia? If we really take into consideration...
There you go. Who's going to make the money? The government and the mafia. Because this was all about the money, man. You know, up until now.
Consideration, all of the programs that have been tried, that have failed, the only one that hasn't had a decent exposure is the private sector, drug-free clinics. Everyone feels that they have some ideas about what should be done about drug addiction when they don't have the experience, when they don't live under the adverse conditions that the majority of the drug addicts live under. And when we make a comparison between the English experience and the American experience, there's no similarities that can be made. We're talking about two different countries.
What,
The dude tell you, okay, well, you guys all those money to those people that have no experience. They are not under the same circumstances that we are. They've never been an addict. They don't know how this thing works, yet you're giving them jobs and high the praise and give them a bunch of money and make this thing. You're taking England and here, it ain't gonna work because it's two different things. Over there in England, most of those people that are in this thing are white. And over here, most of the people that are in this thing is us. And he know this is a money related thing. So we need to ask the private sector. But those guys are not about this. It's about that money, son.
And the cultural difference is so good that it's so great that it overrides any similarities based on heroin addiction.
Yes, of course. You don't even have to go to England. Just go to Brooklyn. You go around the corner, you're in another cultural situation.
Yep.
Programs has to be designed in order to fulfill the needs of the people that's involved.
I see. Are you convinced yourself that using heroin legally administered might not remove some of it from the street market and therefore help to reduce the crime that's associated with it?
I have no reason to believe otherwise. They've tried several types of programs. Methadone is a big flop. It's a big failure, even though the system is still trying to find some way to justify methadone maintenance. Now they're going to bring heroin in. If it's not codeine, it's another. They're looking for the magic pill. There is no magic. There's no way to deal with that other than to get people to accept certain responsibilities and include these people in the realities that they're a part of. Give them some say. Let them determine what they need. I'm not against doctors. They're all right. They have their place. But we cannot continuously look at doctors if they're superhumans.
I see. You live in Harlem and you work in Harlem. What would be the reaction of the community there if somebody did set up a clinic or a center where there was heroin administered legally?
It would be completely negative if I can believe what my colleagues and other people that I see every day say, that they're not above blowing one of those institutions up if they establish it in Harlem. We've had enough. You see, the black community has had enough of experimentation in every aspect of existence.
There you go. There you go. That's what it was. They knew this stuff was on our people. That was in the 70s. And then this dude asking, how did we get there? Well, you put that stuff in our community trying to kill off our people, and we told you stop doing this because it will spill over. Now the curse is on you, and then it's destroying your community now. You know, our people, we're still alive, but your children are dying. Like, what's going on here? And that the other guy was like, where was this dude? This dude is like, how do we get here? Well,
We are showing the next generation of children that illicit drugs are normal and accepted, and they should never be seen that way ever.
How did we get here?
Nathan Vasquez is a deputy district attorney in Multnomah County. He believes the efforts behind Measure 110 need to evolve.
To be clear, I'm a firm believer in treatment, and absolutely we need to have that, but we need to have accountability as well. And there is absolutely a place for the criminal justice system and public safety to be involved in this and to connect people to treatment.
Others in favor of Measure 110 say different.
Now, suddenly everybody wants treatment. Suddenly everybody wants to connect with the addict, connect with the junkies and stuff. You did this experiment on the black folk and our people. Now, when this, let me tell you something right now for the people that are watching this, whether you're 83 or one of us, it's virtually impossible to get rid of this thing right now. No matter the amount of money that you pour in this thing, want to help at all. It's impossible. It's virtually impossible because the curse is now onto you.
Different approaches are helping combat street-level drug use.
We're seeing really good results.
Tara Hurst is executive director for Health Justice Recovery Alliance. She opposes all three bills and believes at its core, Measure 110 has the potential to do much more with the right reason.
Okay, look at the peoples that are here. Okay, look at them. They are all concerned. Why? Because it's hating them. It's hating them. It's hating their families, their people, and they are concerned.
Resource. How many more years do you think it'll take before it works the way you?
Look at her. Care, not jail. Care, not jail. Don't be jailing all people. Well, it worked for us. When you were jailing all people, mass incarcerated our brethren, it did work. We got off the crack. You need to care for those people. Don't jail them. Care, there's a flag here, not jail. Certainly not. That's what, where was all outcry? Our people did cry out, but you didn't listen. You people did not listen, okay? Let's take this last one, beloved, okay? Let's take this.
From Harbor Springs died over the weekend from a rare fungal disease that ravaged his lungs, according to his family. Ian Pritchard was being treated for blastomycosis, which the CDC says is caused by inhaling a fungus that lives in moist soil and decomposing wood and leaves.
He got sick shortly before Thanksgiving.
Let me stop this because they say the word CDC in here. I forgot this because I don't want my stuff to be flagged because they say the word CDC. Now, beloved, based on what we just watched and witnessed concerning 83, do you believe things are going to get better for those so-called those junkies? Do you believe that the so-called 83 going to all of a sudden round up all those junkies, give them guns, training, money, and then they tell them, go to the hood, get the Negroes and ask them, are you going to worship Yahushua or Cesare Borgia? And then bring them Jacob's trouble. Are those folks are in any condition to bring Jacob's trouble? In the beginning, you watch the military, those 5 Marines, when they sent whatever signal for Jacob's trouble, will they be able to participate? Those 5 Marines fellow that went that helicopter, somehow they say, oh, well, you know, it just fell off the sky. So do you believe the people that are in Malibu that had this earthquake, okay, that have this rain going on, they have all sort of things, they are busy trying to prevent this mudslide or cleaning their house? Do you believe that they will have time and jump in their helicopters and go around and do stuff, and taking black people down and put us in camp and gas us and kill us and ask us? You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. Because I personally, I don't see any way out of this. I don't see any way those people going to get out of this. They ain't gonna get away with this. They ain't gonna be okay. Well, let's bring one of those backwarded, so to speak, those backwarded conspiracy theories. Okay, they're going to move to Mars. Elon Musk going to take them to Mars. Do you think those people barely can get their helicopters to go from point A to point B? Next thing you know, they're going to Mars. Elon Musk, he's going to get them to Mars. The main point here is Be at peace. You see what's going on in the midst of those people. The problem is why people keep seeing Jacob's trouble, because they see the world through the eyes of the enemy. But Big Levi, this drug is killing everybody, man. We are all in trouble. I'm in drugs, you in drugs, your kids are dying from drugs, my kids are dying from drugs too. And then we need to protect them. Oh, hell no, dude, man. Hell no. It's not what that is, man. Oh man, it's already 9:40. Man, I was supposed to the Elon Musk is on drugs too. That guy is on drugs too, man. Yeah, next thing you know, we are in trouble. Big Levi, we are in trouble because there are so many drugs out there. We need to come together and we need to do this. Whoa, dude. Okay, I like that captain. Who the hell? Who are you, dog? Coming over there, we back then it was you people over there. Next thing you know, we who are you people, man? I'm not gonna get involved with your we, man, because I don't know you people. We are not under the curse, just like we were not in the blessing. But Big Levi, we need to do something about this. Do something about what, friend? Standing in the way of those people. All we've been doing is praying for those people, looking out for them, taking care of them, ignoring ourselves. And now that we focus on ourselves, getting things together and that stuff, suddenly now we need to come together and do some stuff. When you guys were jailing, incarcerating our people, it wasn't we. You weren't incarcerating we. You weren't incarcerating us. You weren't incarcerating everybody. You were incarcerating the blackie, the darkie. That's what you were doing. Suddenly now, it's we. Okay, well, whatever, man. So, beloved, thank you for being here with the nation. Thank you for taking your time and go to a little bit with this. Tomorrow, we will have the prayer at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow will be our 12 days of our 40-day fast, and the Pluto energy is here. Thank you, beloved. Sanctify the fast. We thank the Heavenly Father. Thank you so much, Mighty One, for protecting us and sending the Holy Spirit in the midst of us, and let us go travel back in time and see exactly what those people were doing, how bad this thing was, but of course they hide it. And now everybody is singing a new song because the curse is upon them. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you, nation, for all of you that were there. It's good to be here. I will see you folks tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and also at the same time 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, so we can do pretty much the same thing. Okay, shalom.